Hey guys, Brandon Lynette here, coming on to continue our marriage talk conversation for the week. We have talked about communication, self-love. Yesterday was actually the communication conversation. I think it was perfect leading into today's topic, which is sex. So the first thing I want to say about it is it's hard to watch today's society because I think that the world has lost a lot of value on what sex is. And I think it is one of the most important components of a marriage next to communication. And you can't have sex without communication. You can, but you can't have like the real deal closeness, like in a marriage, the kind of relationship that's going to be sustainable over time. I think it's important that couples understand that it's not transactional. Your marriage in itself, any relationship that you're in should not be transactional. There should not be, I love you if, I love you when. It should be an unconditional kind of love. I feel like marriage is something that you need to commit to without divorce on the table. Divorce is not an option, right? So communication is going to be the best way to avoid anything coming in between that. And I feel like, part of the problems in marriages today is the fact that people use it as a transaction and withhold it for whatever, like it's used as a pawn. And, it should be something that you guys have talked about that is, a non-negotiable thing that the two of you can come to a compromise. It should be something that gets better over time because you're getting closer, right? You're getting closer with your communication. You're getting closer physically. I know as a mom of 6 kids, definitely throwing life in the mix, opposite work schedules, things happen, but it still has to be a priority. It has to be a priority and it has to be talked about, whether you are, I know like what happens, I'm sorry, I'm losing my thoughts here. What happens is that we put expectations on things and then we look at society and we think that, if we're not having sex twice a day, we must not have a healthy marriage. Or, we're only, no one can say what is healthy for your relationship. No one gets to determine that. I think it should be something that is valued and kept private and something you guys can agree on and live with, right? This is your life partner. Sex outside of marriage is definitely not recommended. You guys, I talked about faithfulness the first day. This is a huge problem and everyone justifies it because for whatever reason needs aren't being met. And the thing is, it's not even really the physical need that's not being met. A lot of this is just back to the communication, back to talking about what the other person needs and not having expectations. You cannot have expectations. It has to be an unconditional commitment of, a level of trust and honesty and just intimacy. Intimacy is so important and it goes far beyond sex. So I want you guys to make sure that in your relationships, it's not something that you're using as a transaction, something that you're not withholding or, punishing, using as a pawn. It is something that two people should commit to wholly, fully, to talk about, to make sure you're on the same page with everything. And some things may be good for your sex life that aren't good for other people, and that's totally fine. You guys have to do what's good for you and do not compare outside sources, right? You can't say Ted and Nancy have sex once a month and judge them on that, right? That's their deal. Or Ted and Nancy can't judge you guys because you're at it every single day. Like that's it. There is no comparison game. There is no judgment. Whatever is healthy and good for you guys, that's what you have to make happen, right? So you guys, marriage is it's everything. We're not meant to go through this life on our own. We are meant to be paired up in that relationship. And we're the foundation for our children. So I think it's very important that, your spouse comes first, right? It should be God's spouse and then babies, of course, because what kind of a family are you if you don't set that foundation as parents? So you really need to stay strong in everything you're doing, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how frustrated you are. Stay the course, stay committed, and understand that it is not transactional. Love and sex are not transactional. It's not, waiting for someone to change. It's loving people fully and completely for who they are right now. Right now in this moment, the person that you're with, find the things that you love about them. Do things that you did in the beginning. I've said this probably all week. I know in the beginning of a relationship, sex is crazy, right? You guys are just that attraction. Everything is awesome. And then you start adding kids and work and the, monotony of everyday life. It just gets mundane and it kind of gets pushed to the side. I think it's very important that you understand you have to do the things in the beginning to get the relationship going, to keep it going, right? So that was my tip for today. Sex is important. I hope you guys are living fully and depending on each other in that intimacy, leaning on each other for that support. It is not something that we post in a big moms group and laugh about and joke about or talk about or judge each other on. It is something that you guys need to communicate and talk fully with privately. So that was it for today. Join me tomorrow on another topic. It will be the last day on the marriage topic and we're going to switch it up. So hope you guys are having an awesome day.